Okay, good morning, guys. People are still joining, so we'll wait for a couple of minutes. In between, just let me know if you guys are not able to hear me. Put that in a chat as usual.
Hello.
I'm audible, right, guys? Just let me know.
Yes, sir. Now you are audible.
Okay, yes. Okay, so we gave a couple of minutes, so we will start with our lecture. We have what around 11 people joining. As I said, just try to join as early as possible. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen with you. I will be, basically sharing a presentation with you. Okay. I will be sharing this presentation with you guys at the end of this. Once we finish this unit, I will share the presentation with you guys. I will make a PDF of it, and I will share with you guys. Okay. So don't worry about that. I have notes also, so I will share my notes also with you, so don't worry about that part. So basically we have spent one lecture trying to go through some basics of before we start any design, we have to go through some basics. Those we have gone through the first lecture, like what are the materials and all that. And now I will start with today. I think, last time did we finish all the mechanical properties? Just let me know in the chat that I think we have finished all the mechanical. Yeah, screen is not visible because I haven't shared. I am sharing it right now. Before sharing that, I just want to make sure that what we have covered. Okay, so I will share my screen with you. Okay, so now the presentation should be visible to you guys. So we have seen till the last lecture, I think different mechanical properties. I think we were at the point, till the factor of safety, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. So what we will do is today we will try to go through, because see, the thing is that I have to go a little fast, because we have to complete three designs: quarter joint, knuckle joint, and lever as a part of this first unit. But I just want to make sure that your basics are clear before we proceed. At least some, how the notations, what are the materials, different materials we use. So those are clear to us, to make sure that that we have some basic knowledge. I am going through this. We have to spend couple of lectures. No option for that. Okay. So today we'll try to finish. What is factor of safety. Then what are the different kind of limits and tolerances. You guys know about it. Fits, and then preferred number. I just want to finish with the preferred number, and if possible, start with some basic of the stresses, and how to calculate the basic stress. So we'll try to go through that today. Uh, First, factor of safety. You guys know what is factor of safety, right? Or why factor of safety is there. Whenever we are doing any kind of design, at that time, just let me pause this. Okay. So whenever we are okay, before we start, I just want to know everyone that if you have any kind of question, kindly ask me in the chat. I will be keeping the checking the chat. Like if you are not able to hear me, I will just keep the chat open, and I will keep checking the chat. Any question is there, ask me there, and just try to log in as soon as possible. Okay. So now the what is factor of safety? Whenever we are doing any kind of design, we need to have some kind of margin. Like if you are say if you are making a bench, and if with the load of say one person 100 kg, it fails, then you cannot design it for 100 kg. You have to make sure that, because that bench maybe not used by one person, maybe two people will be sitting on it, maybe three people will be sitting on it. So you need to have some kind of a margin, or what you can say, a safety bucket, that in between those two buffer. In that buffer, even though your load goes up, still your design will not fail. That is something called as factor of safety. I will not go into two details, because you already know about it. But I just want to cover the basics, that what is factor of safety. Like say for plane, it is a, what you can say, fatal. If something goes wrong, if any part fails, it's fatal. It means it might affect the. It will directly be what you can say, maybe reason for this death of people. So there you have to put a more factor of safety. But like in a floor mill, or where like there is not very high risk, you can put a lower factor of safety. Now the problem with factor of safety is that you are putting it there to make sure your design is safe, even the load goes up. But the problem with factor of safety is that it increases the, what you can say, material. It increases the size of your component. Because as a designer, you want to reduce the material and reduce the size of the your product or component, because to reduce the cost, as we discussed in the last lecture, to reduce the weight. Because having more weight of any component like shaft or gear or any component is not good, because there are two things. It will need more raw material, so it will increase the cost. And also the running cost, like to carry that heavy material, you will need more petrol or whatever, whatever you are using for your running those things. You will need more the electricity. If you are using it, you will need more electricity. So to have more weight is never what you can say, advisable as a designer. So your goal is to try to reduce the weight, reduce the size, so that your running cost, raw cost is less. So, but at the same time, you have to make sure your design is not does not fail. So for that, we use factor of safety. Like different things will have different factor of safety depending on the application, material. There are so many things which we need to worry about, while we are thinking about factor of safety. Like for the construction of a building, when they design the bars, like for a beam or column, they design concrete, right? What is the size of the concrete, or what is the size of the column will be, how what by what. So in that they use, okay, they put the steel bars. So the bar will be of 8 mm, 10 mm, 12 mm. If the load is high on that particular thing, then the design has to be a more what you can say, size of the bar. But problem with having more size of the bar is you will be increase the cost, you will increase the weight, all that. So as a designer, you have to make sure that your design doesn't fail, and also you have to make sure that your cost is not too high. Okay. So for that, factor of safety is very critical. You need to know what is factor of safety, or all those things. You will, there are guidelines for factor of safety. We will go through that once we for each design, or for each application, there is factor of safety will be different. Okay, but you got the concept of what is factor of safety. Okay, then margin of safety. Like say, if I take a factor of safety 2.5, then I'll say I am taking, my load is 100, but I am taking actual load for the design to be 250. Okay, because your factor of safety is 2.5. So actual load, what is going to be on my bench or on my element is 100 newton or 100 kg, but I am taking 2.5 times more. So I'm taking extra care, that I'm taking 1.5 times extra, or I'm taking 150 kilogram extra. That extra thing is called as margin of safety. Okay. So what is margin of safety is, you are basically, you are what you can say, whatever you have calculated failure load upon design load upon minus one, that is your margin. Whatever you are having right now, that is your margin. Okay. So now reliability, there is with the more factor of safety, your design will be more reliable. Okay. But the thing is that with more, see, you cannot put a very high factor of safety, because as I said, it will increase your cost or the raw material. Okay. So that is the issue, then that's why you have to be very careful while putting the factor of safety. Now something called as service factor. Okay, let me just, I can hear some people. Okay, someone has question. Pankaj, yes, Pankaj.
Yes,
Yes.
Sorry for interrupt, sir. I want to ask regarding factor of safety of aeroplane.
Okay. Yes. What is your
Yeah.
question?
Hello.
Yeah. Ask me.
Sir, tell me something about factor of aeroplane. Means its factor of safety is high, na?
Yeah.
More than means, yeah. Just I.
Okay. Actually, you want to know means why it is high or how it is calculated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, as I said, why in the for the aeroplane you have to have high factor of safety. The reason is that
Because
if anything goes wrong, it is fatal. Fatal means it will the after effect will be the death. Okay, like so that means if say your engine in the engine whatever nozzle you have, if that nozzle fails, your
yeah.
engine fails, and that will affect there is no option of taking the plane aside and repairing it and then running it again.
No,
So
no, no. It's in
that
air.
it is fatal. Means it is going to. That means if you are say for if you are going to use the same nozzle in a vehicle in a road vehicle, that time your factor of
Okay.
safety will be 2. But for plane you will be putting factor of safety of 3 because you want to be more cautious. You want it to be more
Yeah.
safe. Okay, what is the problem with more factor of safety is that your design will be heavier, your design will be more complicated, but it is okay for the
Okay.
plane because you want to spend more money rather than losing people. Okay, so that there you are
Yeah.
okay with the cost. So that's why with the plane everything is costly, like because the
Yeah.
parts are costly. Why? Because those engines are not first of all they are using a high quality material. Okay, using chromium,
Yeah. Yeah.
alloys of chromium and all that for the corrosion, for the heat resistance. They are using high quality material. Also they have spent more on the design. Like say if you
Yeah.
see something like say NASA spent this much amount, or our ISRO spent this much amount on some design, that
Yes, sir.
doesn't mean that particular product is costing that much. The
Yes.
testing and the design of the product has gone through so many cycles so that it doesn't fail. That is a cost.
Okay.
That's why the cost goes high. Means if you take us like
Okay.
a engine from say rocket, the actual
Yeah.
cost of that engine, if you take the raw materials, will be say 1 lakh rupees. But
Okay.
the whatever amount spent by NASA or ISRO on that will be 50 lakh rupees, because they have gone through 50 cycles of doing the design, testing it for what you can say limit to certain limit, and if see where it fails, again doing the testing. So they have spent so much time in the design research, and that's why the cost goes up. Are you getting my point?
Oh.
So
Yeah. Yeah, sir.
then also they have to spend lot of amount and time on the design so that in actual it doesn't fail. But if you are taking the same design, like say same nozzle you are doing for floor mill, like our Pitachi Girni, okay, for that
Ah.
you will be doing one design, you will doing one test cycle, and you will be putting that in a production. Because if something
Yeah.
goes wrong, if your gear fails, it's not going to, it will simply cause the stoppage of this your floor mill. So it will start
Yeah.
working on the next day. You can change the gear or you can change that particular part.
Yeah.
So it is not going to be fatal.
Okay.
So that time factor of safety of putting 2 is fine. Are you getting
Okay.
it?
Okay, sir.
Like in the
Yeah. Yeah, sir.
construction, like construction, if you're building, they put a more factor of safety, because if your building collapse, it is going to be fatal. So that's why they have to
Okay.
be more cautious. Something like fatal or some critical applications are there.
Severity. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
take an
Okay.
example of Corona. Now, Corona, the factor of safety we are taking, like you and me are taking, and the factor of
Yeah.
safety taken care by your nurses and doctors, it's a different. We are taking a factor
Yes.
of safety, say 1.5. We are using sanitizer, we are using mask. But when we reach our home or when we reach our office, we are taking out the mask, we are putting the sanitizer. So we are taking extra factor of whatever we are taking care in the old days, we are taking extra care, but it is not very high.
Yes.
But those
Yes.
doctors they are using PP kit having 3 or 4 layers, so their factor of safety is 4 to 5, because their chances
Okay.
of failure are more because they are more prone to it. So like that, so because they are more prone to it, that's why they are using more factor of safety, and we are less prone because we are not going to those in contact with those patients. So we are using less factor of safety. So it is kind of similar thing. Are you getting my point?
Understood, sir. Thank you.
Okay, okay, fine. So I will proceed with now. If you anybody has any question, Just raise your hand and you can ask me question, not a problem. Next is service factor. Let me just see whether I am recording the screen. Okay, because I want to put these videos on YouTube so that you can later on also we can go through that. Service factor. Now service factor is something like say your motor rated power is 1000 RPM. So service factor is basically above that 1.25. Like say your load is say how much torque your machine will generate, but while doing the design you will say it will generate 1.25 times more of that, because so sometimes it happens that load goes up, or some heavy load, like your vehicle, it is supposed to, your engine is supposed to take load of 4 people, but it goes you can your engine you put 6 or 10 people. That time your engine has to have capability of having more capacity. So that time that this load factor. So now this load factor is 1 for the constant load. Means your load, you put the load is not changing. You put one load factor. But if your load is changing with mild shock, like you are putting a kick, like, or having a shock, but it is not heavy, you will put 1.25 factor. But you are having a load factor of 1.5, which is if there is a shock or is heavy, means your load is not uniform, it is changing, it is fluctuating with heavy difference. That time we will put a load factor of 1.5. So this is different from a factor of safety. Load factor is above rated what you are designing. Means if you are supposed to design for 1000 Newton meter torque, then you are designing it for 1.25 times or 1.5 times, so that in case the rated power goes up, your design should be fine. Okay. Next is okay. Now we are actually starting with design and manufacturing. Now you need to know in design and manufacturing, basically when we are doing any kind of design or manufacturing, like output of our design will be a diagram. Like no, for the workshop people or for the manufacturing, we need to give them basically we'll be talking in terms of diagrams, like will you give them, this is the how the design look like, these are the dimensions. So we are giving the dimensions of everything, and depending on those dimensions your manufacturing will be done. But for the dimension, now the problem is that when we actually say, you will say my shaft or my gear has to be with XX dimensions, or my shaft has to be a 40 diameter. But when we actually manufacture it, it will not be 40, because there are so many factors, starting with the skill of the person who is manufacturing it, the labor, to the machine on which you are manufacturing it, the tool which you going to use. If your tool has a wear, then your finishing will not be fine, or it has a vibrations, or you are using lubricating, whatever you are using, lubricating liquid, that is not proper. So with so many factors, starting with the raw material is not of good quality, to the finishing process you are using, there are so many factors affecting the quality of your product. Okay, so your ultimate final outcome may not be 40 it may be up, it may be down. Are you getting my point? So when you are manufacturing anything, your output may not be what you expected, because every time you cannot say I want exactly 40 each and every part, because that is possible. But for that you have to put extra, very extra amount in the manufacturing. You have to have a very good quality of machines, skill, labors, everything will cost you. So instead of that, what you will say, okay, instead of having very skilled labor, a very high machine, and a very high finishing tool, let's just have everything normal. But it is okay to have 41 diameter of the shaft, or for 39 diameter of the shaft. So I am okay with from 39 to 41. If it is in between those, I am okay with that. So if you say something like that, you are giving now them tolerance. You are say like in this what is tolerance? Basically in this corona, your parents tolerated you, right? That means you did so much misbehavior. You watched so many movies. You were lazy. You did not wash utensils. Your mom told you. They still they still they bear with you. Why? Because they're your parent. They have no option. So that is tolerance. Means how much they can how much they can take from you. After a certain time, mom will hit you with chappal and go out and or wash utensils, something like that. So that means you are exceeded her tolerance. So tolerance means how much you are able to you can take it. So like when I say my shaft is 40 mm, my tolerance is okay. Below 30 mm is not okay because it will not work properly. It will move freely, and above 40 mm it will be jammed. So you will say my from 39 to 41 is my tolerance or is my limits. Okay, for my shaft, everything in between these two are is okay. So this is where you have to do the design because you cannot exactly expect for 40 because it will be very high to do manufacturing of that. Okay. So for that you will be using limits. I will not go in too much details. I hope you have gone through that these limits and tolerances in many other different subjects. Actually, it is not even part of this our syllabus also. But again, I just want to make sure that everybody at least knows what is limits and what are tolerances. So in this example in the diagram, I have shown the shaft and hole. Like basically with the first shaft and hole minimum diameter. So minimum my diameter cannot be less than this because otherwise it will be jammed with my shaft for a hole. And my maximum diameter, if it goes beyond this diameter, then my shaft will be too free to rotate. So similarly for shaft, maximum diameter and minimum diameter is there. Okay, and these are the deviations. Means how much I can deviate from the mean. So mean is 40. I can go up by say 10, 1 or 2 or 3, whatever it is, and I can go below 1 or 2 or 3, whatever it is, what limits you are going to put. Okay, so depending on that, you will be putting limits on that. Okay. So these are all the basic size, actual size, all these you already know about it. So I will not go through, but I will put it in my presentation. You can go through that later on if you want. Okay. Now fits, there are basically there are two systems: hole basis system in which the hole is base, and then you will be changing the shaft, or shaft basis systems in which shaft will be fixed and you will be having different kinds of holes. So there are two systems for what you can say fits. Now there are three types of feeds are there. First is clearance feed. Second is interference feed and transition feed. You guys know about it. Clearance feed base means whatever two mating components are there, they are having a clear, what you can say, clearance between them. Means between shaft and hole there is a proper gap is there. Means if your shaft is say maximum limit is 41, then your hole will be hole's minimum diameter will be 42. So always there will be clearance. So your hole will never become below 42 and your shaft will never go above 41. So it is a proper clearance is there. But if it is possible that your I'm going to know interference speed, your shaft is from 40 to 41 and your like hole is from 40 to 42. That means there is a possibility that sometimes it will be clear, sometimes it will be fit. So that is called as interference fit. Okay, so that is a transition fit. So like that basically it is in transition phase, it is going from clearance to the transition. Okay, and then interference means it is interfering, means it is going in other, means your shaft is having a diameter of 40 and your hole is having diameter of 39. So that time it will be always having interference, it will be having fit into each other. So that is a interference fit. Okay, so this diagram, if you can see this, see like say shaft, if you see the diagram, the hole where I have put, a cross mark and shaft is, is blank. So hole is above shaft. So shaft and hole have a clear, what you can say, gap in between them. It's a clearance fit. In the below diagram, now shaft is going above the hole. That means it is definitely having going to be interference or fit into each other. And when it is having in between, you cannot say about it, it's a transition fit. Okay. Okay. Now, something called preferred number. You should know about it. Preferred number. What are preferred number? There are some series we use: R5, R10, R20. What are those series? We'll talk about this. These are called Reynolds series. But what is this preferred number? Like say, or why these preferred numbers are required? Means whenever you are going to do a design, you will be using this preferred number series, or where you are going to develop a new product, you need to know what is a preferred number series. Now what is that? Now whenever you go to market, and say I want something. You cannot say I want this of say gear of whatever dimensions you want, or rope of, if you want a rope, the rope will be available in a specific sizes in the market. You cannot get from any sizes. And why is that? Because like say steel for your concrete, like if there will be 8 then will be 9 10, then there will be 12. 11 will not be available. After 12, there may be for 14 or 15 will be available. Like for this true for everything. Like if you go to buy a motor, RPM of the motor will not be any RPM. It will be from say 1226, then it will go to 1500, something like that. So it will be have a certain, after this, you next available is this. Now question is, why is that? Because as a manufacturer, you cannot produce each and every, what you can say, rating of or dimensions component. So you have to have some standard. Okay. Now after 10, what is next 12? After 12, what is next 15? So because that means if my requirement is a 14, to be safe, I will use 15. Okay. If my requirement is 9.5, 9.75, I will use 10. Or if market is available is 9 and then next is 10, and my design came to 9.1, then I will use 10. So like that, you have to have some kind of standard. Otherwise, production will be clumsy, then your sale will be clumsy, and everything will get messed up. So rather than having this all messed up situation, you will have a standard. So you will say after 8, the next available is 9, after 9 next available is 10, after 10 12, 15, 20, 25, 30, then 40, like that. So you will be having a series like these numbers or something will be there, whatever you are doing product. Like for a row, I was taking example of rope. After say 3 rope, there will be 5 After 5 there will be 10 You will not get it in between. If you want something, you will have to go to the next one. Okay. So this is because, to have a standardization in the market, it will be easy for the manufacturing perspective. It will be easy for everything. Like motor speed or engine power, anything. It's after one number, it will go to a next specific number. It will not go to any arbitrary number. So this next number is called as preferred number. This is what I am preferring. I want this number. So how we come up with this number, or what is the best way to come up for this number? To have something called series, preferred series. It's called Renard series. Like say we use something called R5 means fifth root of 10. Now if you take your calculator and if you see fifth root of 10, like square root of 10 will be, I think, 3 point something. The square of 3 is 9. So 3 point something will be your square root of 10. So similarly, if you take fifth root of 10, it will be 1.58. Again, you will take 10th root of 10, it will be 1.26. If you take 20th root of 10, it will be 1.12. And 40th root of 10 is 1.06. So these are the four numbers we get. These are the standard numbers. What are these numbers? These are numbers are not from, we got it from thin air. These are the roots of 10. R5 means fifth root of 10. R10 means 10th root of 10. Then R20 means 20th root of 10, and R40 means 40th root of 10. Okay. It's very simple. Now, once I got this number, I got number 1.58, 1.26, 1.12, 1.06. Then I will use those for my series or my numbers. That means if I started with 1000, next will be multiplication by 1.58. The next will be 1580. To make it standard, 1600. Okay. Next will be multiply 1.6 with 1.58. That will be 2.49 something. So next is 2500. So whenever you are doing manufacturing, you will say 1000, 1600, 2500, 4000, like that you will be having series. So this is a series of your progression or series of having R5. Means your next number is 1.5 times of your previous number. So similarly, if you have a series of R10, next number is 1.26 times of your previous number. So like that, if you next take a series of R10, your first number is 1001. Next number is your 1.25. Next number is 1.25 multiplied by 1.25, 1.6. 1.6 into 1.25, 2.0, like that. Okay. So this is the way your series will be there. So this is, so you can start with anything. You can start with say 5. The next number is 5 into 1.58. Your will be whatever number comes. then that number multiplied by 1.5, the next number. Like that you will be. This is the number, this is the standard I am going to follow for manufacturing of my say shaft diameter or my diameter of my bearing balls like that. So anything you will be using this preferred series. So it will, these are the standard series we use. There are many series, but these are the standard series we use. Okay, R5, R10, R20, R14 like that. Okay, I think there is an example I would like to take. If possible, I will try to share that example. Just let me see. If possible, I will share that example. I want you guys to work on that example and solve it, because to just to get an idea of preferred series. The example is find out the numbers of R5 basis series from 1 to 10. From 1 to 10, what are the numbers in R5 series you will be having? So like if R5 series, then number will be 1, 1.6, then 2.5, then will be 4, then next will be 4 into 1.6, that is 6.3, and then next will be 10. So you will be having 1, 1.6, 2.5, 4, 6.3, 10. 6 number will be there from 1 to 10. So in exam you might have a question like find out numbers from 1 to 10 in R5 series. Okay, or you might have example of from 100 to 1000 find numbers in R20 series. So what you will, so basically you will be using R20 means you will use a factor of 1.12. You will start with 100. So your first will be 100, then next will be 160, next will be 250, 400, 630, and then 1000. Okay, so series means simply you are multiplying factor, and will be given range from this to this. You will in between you will find the numbers. Okay, so similarly you can there was an example of tractor capacities from 7.5 to 75 kilowatt. Okay, and you have to use a series. Okay, now what series you will use is basically you have to see now and how many gaps will be there. So like between 7.5 to 75 I want 10 steps. So depending on the steps you can again find out the series, what series you want to use. You can say I want to use R5 series, then you can find out the gaps from 7.5 to 75. So like that, simply basically multiplying factor you have to use or you will be having multiplying factor depending on the series, and accordingly you will do your design. Okay, so I think you got the idea what is preferred number. Basically preferred number is the standards in the numbers, because if we don't want any arbitrary numbers or arbitrary designs, so from one number to the next number, to have that standardized you will be using series. Okay, so if possible I will send an example, and in the next lecture if possible just try to share with me your answers. I will share with you a couple of examples. Okay, now what book I am referring, I am using only one book, that is VB Bhandari. I do not use any other book. And obviously I all the time I go online and I see many videos. I use online material. So online I use so many things, but for a book I use VB Bhandari, Design of Machine Elements by VB Bhandari book. That's a nice book. I will be taking examples from that book only. So whatever examples, if you want to know the approach I took for the design, or what is the solution for that, we can get it from VB Bhandari. Okay, so I think time is 11:36. So should we go ahead with the next or the basic stresses? We have, I tried to complete all things, whatever is, syllabus is mentioned. Some things are not in the syllabus, still I tried to cover it, because you need to have that background ready with you. Now from the next lecture we'll see how the basic stresses are calculated. What is direct stress, what is bending stress, what is torsional stress, those stress, how to calculate those stresses, how that stress comes in the material or in your component, then how to calculate those stresses. Then we'll try to see what is the procedure of design, like any machine element. Now once we know this process, how to, this process will be applied to all our design components. Means this process is like how to find out forces, how to do the material selection, then how to use all whatever basic things we are going to learn, like how to calculate the stresses. We are going to use 3 or 4 equations everywhere. So using those, how to do the design, how to come with dimension, and then the drawing. Okay, So we'll go through the cycle of this design in tomorrow's next lecture. So basic stresses and mainly basic what you can say design process, and then our actual design of quarter and knuckle joint will start. Okay. So because when we start with the quarter and knuckle joint, I want you guys to be ready with all the basic knowledge, how what is the design process or what is the process we are going to follow, and what are the basic stresses. Once you know that, then you can face any kind of design. Design is not a big deal. Process is almost same everywhere. Failure criteria will be different, equation will be different, but process will remain same. Okay. So it's not a very complicated thing. Only thing is that your background should be clear, means you should have a basic knowledge of stresses, materials, what are different strengths, or different what you can say principal stresses, and design process. Okay. So from next lecture we will actually start with the design with the some basic stresses and actual design process. Okay. Anybody has any doubt, put in a chat. I am giving next few minutes for any doubts. You can put in a chat. If you have no doubts, you can put that everything is okay, whatever you want to put in the chat. I'm giving next couple of minutes for that, and then we will close the session. We talked about what we are going to cover in the next session as well. Okay. Okay. One more thing. At the end of the session, I will share a link with you guys on the WhatsApp because it is something new we came up with, that for the attendance. We are keeping the attendance from this also. I know I am putting that from. Just let me take attendance. Only 13 participants. Today, number of participants are very less. I don't know why, but it is the case. If possible, I know last time the attendance was, I think, 26 or 27. Today, the less attendance is there. But anyway, I will be sharing a link of the attendance in the next few minutes. Share. I see. The thing is that I am taking a screenshot of your attendance, so I know who were there. Okay. But only thing is that I want to avoid putting all the names and searching and all that. So it's better to have a attendance ready made. So I'm going to share the link. Link will be available with you guys for 15-20 minutes. You know, roll number are not. We don't. I think the roll numbers are shared, na. Roll numbers are shared, Simran. But if you guys your roll number, if you don't know, then I think you can talk to your class teacher or whatever. I mean, I can also share that with you, no problem. But if you don't know your roll number, you can put whatever, means 99 or something like that for the time being. But we try to put your roll number. Okay. Okay. Nobody knows your roll number. Is that the case? If that's the case, then I will try to put the roll number. Let me just stop the recording.